Hello and welcome to the Experience of the Soul podcast. My name is Cynthia Alice Anderson. I'm the host. I'm here today with my producer, Mr. Shawn Kilgore. We're on location in Clermont, Florida.
Yeah, hello everybody. Welcome to episode 312 of Experience of the Soul for Monday, May 11th. But welcome whenever you are joining us. We are so glad you're here. Let's take a look at what's happening this week in spiritual history. So it is a kind of a quiet week across many of the faiths that we lift up in this opening segment, but we still have some really meaningful reminders of living peacefully with one another and honoring the earth, kind of like, what we talked about last week.
Yeah.
All right. So this Thursday, many Christians observe Ascension Day, which marks the story of Jesus ascending to heaven after the resurrection. So beyond the theology, it suggests the idea of lifting our awareness and trusting that what is sacred doesn't disappear, but continues to guide us in new ways.
Oh, wow. That's profound. Say that one more time.
It's all about trusting that what is sacred does not disappear, but it continues to guide us in new ways.
Well, that's truth right there.
As I said that, there was a hawk just flew up into that tree.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, such powerful energy out here today.
Yeah, it's beautiful. This Saturday is International Day of Living Together in Peace, which reminds us that harmony can be a daily intention for all of us, and might be nice if it actually was. We'd be in a better place. But we can do this through acts of kindness, through listening to each other, and just practicing respect for one another.
Absolutely. And I think it's so what we're being called to right now. It's so easy to be in reaction mode. And I say this a lot, and I've had people say, you don't understand. No, I do understand. I understand from a very high perspective that if we keep going as we are, we're going to kill each other, and that's no way to survive.
Yeah.
That we are really being asked to be in peace, to cooperate, to see our differences as a plus and not something to fear.
Yes.
That's
really well said. Yeah, 100%. And our Just for Fun this week is National Love a Tree Day. This is also on Saturday. So this is a nice little reminder to step outside and just be in the quiet generosity of nature.
Oh, so
which is what we're doing right now.
Exactly. I know as you were starting, I was like, I'm so excited about the new studio, but I'm going to miss this too. We can still do this some too. We don't always have to be in the new studio because this feeds our spirit for sure.
Yes, that's right. And that might be the first time we've mentioned the new studio. So do you want to say a little more?
Well, friends, thanks to your support, we are able to go into a really professional studio coming up. And it's a beautiful location in downtown Daytona Beach. And I think it's really going to elevate your experience. The sound will be even better. I mean, we always do a good job, but it takes a lot on the back end for you in the editing. And I think it'll be really, really nice. So we'll still do live podcasts the way we've, done recently. And we'll still be outside from time to time. But this is really the next level for us. And we're pretty excited to be in a very professional setting and taking the podcast to the next level. It feels really honoring of us and all the work that we do and all the preparation and all the love that goes into the show. So it's really through your support that we're able to do it.
Yes, I'm very excited about it. So more on that to come for sure. Yeah. So friends, perhaps something worth carrying into your week, maybe a good journal prompt for you for the week. Where might slowing down help you see your life a little differently this week? Where might slowing down, like sitting quietly under a tree, help you see your life a little differently this week?
Beautifully said.
Yeah. And with that, friends, welcome officially. This is episode 412 of Experience of the Soul. Open your mind.
Open your mind.
Free your mind, and the rest will follow.
Well, open your mind is a good one, and it really goes, Shawn, with exactly what you were saying in terms of just sitting and resting. And I had a recent experience where I took my family to dinner. It was all of us, and it was a restaurant I wouldn't normally go to because it was on the expensive side. But my son was home and his girlfriend and everything, and I wanted to do something nice, before he went back to school. He's doing such a great job, and he was dying to go to this restaurant. And anyway, the whole dinner I was just, very quiet and listening to them chitter chatter and talk about this and that, and as we were leaving, my partner looked at me and said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm really good." And I said, "It's just so nice to rest in this." Like, I'm just really trusting the divine flow. I said, when I can be in a place like that, not because it's expensive, not because it was an expensive restaurant, but the intentionality of those kinds of places. It's a tiny restaurant with a lot of intention. It's Honduran, and the food is made with so much love. You can just taste it in the food. And I'd only been there one time, but even for me being gluten-free, he said, "Oh, the only thing that's not gluten-free is the bread. Like, this is an elevated way of cooking. This is very connected to the earth. So you can eat almost everything here,
Wow.
And my glass was never empty. There was, but it wasn't that either. It was a beautiful stone fireplace. It was that the lighting was perfect,
Yeah.
It was
There's
sweet.
something very special about going to places like that.
Yes.
And I love that when you're able to sit back and really watch the people that you love enjoy this experience.
Yeah, what was so nice for me is resting in that. And it wasn't that I could provide it, although that was part of it. It wasn't that I could say, get whatever you want on the menu, but that was part of it. I mean, they shared a meal and we shared a meal. We weren't overspending by any stretch. But there was something about getting in the truck that, I don't know why, my friends, I'm talking about this, but there was something really special about just being open to whatever was next. And I thought of this, I think, because I decided to take them by the new studio because I was so proud of it. I said, I want to show you guys the new studio. And they said, okay, can we ride in the back of the truck? I go, yeah. So after a nice dinner with nice clothes, they hopped in the back of the truck.
I love
we
it.
opened the back window and had the windows open. It was sunset at the beach. You know what I mean?
Beautiful, yeah.
Beautiful night,
yeah.
beautiful energy. The wind was blowing. Yeah. So it's when I can be in that place, and if I were to say a goal I have, is to always feel that way, because I love to do a lot of things, and I do love to be busy because I love to be with people. I love to accomplish a lot of things, but I want to be able to open my mind to the flow and whatever that wants to be.
Yeah.
It's and that's what I want to just bring to you today, my friends, is just being just open our mind to what if. That we really don't know what's next. Everybody's pontificating about what's going to happen politically and the latest sexual scandal. And you start to think, is there anybody in Washington that knows how to be normal? You start thinking all this.
No.
And the answer is no. But yeah, the answer is no.
Yeah.
Anybody in power seems to not be able to control themselves sexually, which is interesting, right? Because power is very seductive.
Right.
Right? And so here are the rest of us living our lives, doing the best we can, trying to live spiritual lives. And, we get the idea that producing and making and doing is the thing instead of being and opening our mind to what if. What if I could just be happy in this moment? What if I could just be with myself and my family and know this is the greatest prosperity there is?
Yeah. This whole day, the way we're recording today is a prime example of exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly. I was not planning on coming here today. I was not planning on driving all the way. But that was the funny thing, too. I enjoyed every second because, we had a little bit of a medical situation I had to help somebody deal with, and it required a drive to Orlando. And I said, you know what, Shawn, I was already thinking about maybe coming to your place. Could I do that? Well, yeah. I said, okay. And so the person I was driving was like, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much. I said, oh, thank you. This put me right where I needed to be. And I wasn't even sure, but I did have an inkling. So I'm just feeling the divine order, getting the right lunch, getting here on time, everything was perfect.
Yeah. Great day.
But if I would have said, no, I can't do that. No, I can't do this. This is scheduled. That's happening. And there's nothing exactly wrong with that. But I wouldn't have opened my mind to just stay curious about what is God trying to bring to me today.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the flow? Well, there's that hawk right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what signs and symbols are there that are guiding me along the way, as I sit in this place of acceptance and joy, like real joy, though, where I'm not trying to create joy. I'm just very present. And if I can open my mind to that, and I can see, I can see Spirit bringing life and energy to me. I can see Spirit bringing me awareness. I can slow down my thinking and be in calm. I don't have to be moving all the time. I can be right here, right now.
Yeah, as the breeze kicks up.
Right, exactly. As the breeze comes up and says, I got you. Yeah. Often when I go to the beach, it's fun to live over there now because I go so much more. And I often, just sit and listen to the beach, and I talk with it and listen for it talking back. And I am just in dialogue with the natural world. And, what a gift that is.
Absolutely.
And so, my friends, I think we worry too much about what's going to happen or what might happen or what could happen instead of just like opening our mind to the good that's right here, right now. I have enough air to breathe. I have everything I need right here in this moment. I'm not too hot. I'm not too cold. Right now in this moment, I have what I need.
Oh, hey.
Somebody's got an alarm over there.
That stopped a lot earlier than what it does sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
funny that like most young people today don't really know that because this is really how we lived growing up in the 70s, 80s. All we had was the present moment. We didn't have news feeds in our hands.
No.
We didn't have, so all we had were these moments where we could sit around a table and have dinner and just be totally present in the moment and not worry about what we're missing on our phone.
Right, or have a puzzle right over here.
Yeah.
And somebody else playing cards another room over.
Yeah.
Dinner's ready. Okay, everything stops.
Yeah.
Nobody says, I got to go check my phone real quick before I sit down at dinner. Or I don't want to miss a call during dinner.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's just, sometimes I think it'd be so nice to go back to that, to go back to having just a house phone where you weren't able to be reached all the time.
I am getting a house phone.
Are you going to get a house phone?
Meant to tell you that, yeah. House phone is next.
That's excellent.
Yeah, there will be certain hours only, with the podcast increasing and my work at the church and, I have a client load and everything else in online courses. My phone rings from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. That's too late.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, that's too late. So, yeah, house phone coming up. And as a matter of fact, this summer we're going to do 90s summer where there's, if you are on the computer, only one person can use it, and then no phones, only one show at a time.
What a great idea.
So if you have to look something up, you go and you open a computer and you look it up and you close the computer and come back.
Man, where'd you find that? Is this something like love it?
We heard about
summer.
Yeah, we heard about it and decided to try it this summer. And what I used to do when my son Josh was little is we used to do this vacation up in Canada. We had some friends and they lived way out kind of in the bush. We'd, get up in the morning and go get on a canoe and get on the water right away.
Awesome.
Have 3 sips of coffee and go. And there were no devices then either. Now then, it was really new that people would get up and play games and stuff like that. It was kind of new then, but we did no devices for the whole vacation.
That's great.
Yeah, and then when he got older, we did that trip around the country, or not around the country, but all up the East Coast and back, and we did no maps on the phone. We only did paper maps.
Oh, yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, I realize I might be sounding old, and I don't care, but I think we are participants in the dumbing down of our culture, and it's interesting because it's the ones with all the power and money that say we have to have them.
Yep.
That everything has to be ordered on Amazon. I mean, God bless, the man who changed shopping forever.
Yeah.
But it has created a culture of consumerism even more so. And the phones, yeah. My other concern on the phones is that so many young kids are seeing these headlines that are so over-sexualized.
Yep.
It's very, very concerning. So my friends, being in the moment and not having these interruptions, being in the moment and not worry about what was the latest congressman who slept with somebody, not their wife or husband.
Yeah.
Let's be here and open our mind to what is possible right here, right now, like just being present to what is. And I promise you there will be a gift for you in there. I think sometimes, too, we stay busy and occupied so we don't have to deal with our feelings. That we, stay so plugged in so we don't have to realize the sad state of affair of our life because we're not living our purpose. And that's why I want to encourage you to unplug, to deal with what's there so you can move forward in a powerful way, not so you can be depressed, but so you can see what's really going on and then make that change.
Yes.
But because what we do is, we stay busy and we put off what's, trying to come to the surface, and we start getting health problems. We start going into depression, need medications. And my friends, I have worked with people who need medications to get up and medications to go to sleep and medications for the depression. And they're all linked. They're all linked to spiritual health. They're all linked to overbusy and stress and anxiety. And so we want to encourage you to just open your mind to what if, open your mind to the present moment. Like, what if I were just still for a minute, even if it's hard for me at first? I've had people say, I cannot do without my phone for a day. And I say, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah, I know lots of people
That's called
like
addiction.
That. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're constantly then comparing your life to other people's lives, and you're never finding your purpose because you're thinking, oh, I need to try to match, what everybody else is doing. And
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Yes. And it's very dysfunctional. It's very dysfunctional, all that comparison. The question really for us to be asking is, what does this have to do with me and my spiritual journey right now at this time? So maybe there's shadow work to do. Maybe there's self-love to, participate in. And but I promise you, in the moment, there is a gift. There is a gift. We've talked about a movie a couple times. It's called The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. It's a movie based on the book by Dan Millman. If you've never seen that movie, that's a wonderful movie about the joy of the journey. And there, in one scene, I am gonna wreck it for you on one scene. One part of the movie.
Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert! Yeah, sorry. It's just one scene. I promise.
That's cool.
So, the spiritual mentor tells the man in the movie, his student in the movie, that he can't wait to show him something. And so all the way on this hike, the student is excited. He can't wait to see it. And then, they get up to the top of the mountain. He goes, where is it? I mean, what is it? And he goes, the teacher looks down and he goes, this better not be it. And the teacher goes, what? He goes, this rock right here? He goes, well, I didn't know what we'd find till we got here. And he goes, you mean you set me up this whole way? He goes, how did I set you up? You had the time of your life being on the journey.
Yeah, that's...
he goes, you were so excited. You couldn't wait to see it. And he goes, all the way up, you were excited. You were excited about what was next and the unknown. He said, it's still in the unknown. This is the journey. This is it.
Yeah.
He said, I didn't know what we'd find. And he was like, no, you didn't. But, that's how our mind wants to hook into. That's why I'm saying our mind wants to hook into what we think we know, what we think is going to happen, what we think needs to happen, what we think should be, when in fact there's this whole beauty and glory and goodness and peace that's in the moment. We try to do others' work for themselves. We try to take care of other people, and they won't take care of themselves. I work with people all the time who are trying to get family members to get sober. I said, have you ever thought that they don't want to get sober?
Yeah.
Work on yourself. Work on yourself. And then maybe by the example of your life, they'll want what you have. But right now, you're so mixed up in them, you don't have your own life. You don't have your own life, So think about that, friends. Just open your mind to a new idea about yourself. Open your mind to a new idea about what's possible, in this moment. Like look at every single moment as a grand adventure. And remember, spiritually, there's never nothing going on. Like there's always something spiritual showing up for you. There's always a gift. There's always an energy. There's always, a opportunity, a light that is showing up for you. I think, the reason we get so hooked into what could be and all the what ifs is we don't have a lot of practice being in the now. And it may take some work on your part to set aside time at first. You may have to take a lunch break where you go sit in your car, turn the AC on, and do 10 deep breaths to get in the moment and just look out the window and see if you see anything, One of my dear friends loves to go to a park and do his journaling. He tells me that he can, be in a park for an hour on a bench thinking about his life and journaling and not need that for months because of how much it just fuels his journey, and it's just him being present to himself and his process. And can you imagine if all of us did it more than every few months, like what if it were on the regular that we got quiet and listened? I had an experience just the other day where we were out at this park. It was a state park, and we just kind of pulled over to the side where this beautiful water was. And there are all these tiny little holes around. And I thought, I don't know what those are. And all of a sudden, all these little creatures came out and started going. There were tiny little crabs.
Oh, yeah.
They were like this big, and they tried to scare us off.
Oh, really?
They were like, there was one little claw and one big claw, and it kept going, wah, wah, and it was wild. And then I would move, and it would go back in the hole. And I thought, gosh, look at this little thing protecting its territory. What message is there for me? First, I want to be respectful of it. I put my hand down. I was like, what is that? And I went like that, and that thing goes, zoop. I was like, oh, that scared it, And it got out again. Look, you're too close. You're too close. And so I sat on the bench. It was really quiet, and then it kind of like settled down. And I thought, there's probably a lot of lessons. I'm just going to sit with this. It was just like a beautiful happening I knew nothing about.
Yeah.
It was like opening my mind to something new.
And being truly present.
To it. I tried to give it watermelon, but no. It didn't like watermelon. But that's something I would have done as a kid.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
You just go, what does that do?
Yeah.
It was kind of fun. And the water was gorgeous. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful day. So, my friends, I hope what we're saying is making sense to you. We've talked about a lot of things. You want to wait a second?
Sure, yeah. Sounds like it's getting closer. So, Way of the Peaceful Warrior, that's based on the book? I think I know we've talked about it before. And I'm sure I have a link to it.
I think it's on Prime only.
Okay.
Or maybe on YouTube. But
Dan Millman? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, that reminds me, too, he has another great book. I think it's called The Life You Were Born to Live. Here, let me look that up real quick.
Okay.
I'll know it right away if I see the cover.
Yeah, it looks like it's, Amazon Prime. It's on Apple TV, too.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So, my friends, this is my hope for you, that you will spend some time, doing a whole lot of nothing. and open your mind to that, just to even open your mind to that possibility. I have a good friend, and he's a good supporter of the show, and has said to me that he's very productive, in his life and in his work and everything. And he said he told me his goal one day was to do nothing. And I said, well, that's awesome. He goes, yeah, so I got a book on it. And there is a book, literally, on how to do nothing. So I thought that was hilarious.
That is hysterical.
I thought that was hilarious. And he's a good soul, and wow, what a spiritual path. And it reminded me, too, as much as I love the work of Dan Millman, I mentioned his book, Way of the Peaceful Warrior, and he also has another book called The Life You Were Born to Live, and it's really beautiful, based on ancient wisdom and some numerology about your life path. And I found it to be very enlightening. And, all of these spiritual teachings that we talk about, we last week talked on prayer. We talk about forgiveness. All of these practices really require you to be able to open your mind to a new idea about what you've experienced or what life is about. Closed minds are about resentment, fear. Closed minds are about I'm right, you're wrong. And so the idea of opening your mind has many levels. We've talked a lot today about just being present to the moment, seeing what shows up, flowing with life, encountering critters and wondering what that's about, encountering a flow to your day that you weren't expecting, encountering news from a family member that maybe you didn't know was coming. How do you, flow and navigate with that? But knowing that that you being able to be present to yourself in your journey is going to help you deepen your awareness of God. It's going to bring you more peace. And so some of the practices that you'll find yourself doing now, going out to a park, just sitting on a bench. You don't have to be out in the wild. Just go to a park and be quiet, or turn everything off at home and light a candle for a bit. Just enjoy life, be in that moment, and see if you can open your mind to a new possibility for yourself. Forgiveness opens your mind to a new perspective. Awareness opens your mind to your observer self and being able to see what your behaviors are and how you might be impacting others. So everything we talk about on the show is really about being able and having the discipline of opening your mind to a new perspective. And so the reason we hope this for you is that this builds a life of peace. This builds a life of love and wisdom and connection and guidance and support. So we want you to be lifted. We want you to be inspired by life itself. And if all you're doing is busy producing and doing and running from here to there and checking out of your feelings, you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to be caught in the feeling nature. You're going to be caught in fear. You're going to be caught in worry and anxiety. We don't want that for you. We want life to be good. We want life to be holy. We want life to have flow and good energy. We want you to be able to be present to yourself, because in truth, you are a gift from God. In truth, you are here to bring God's goodness to others through your life and the way you live. So you don't have to worry about what everybody else is doing all the time. Simply be present to you. Open your mind to new ideas. Open your mind to the joy and the peace and the beauty in the very moment you find yourself. So if you're in a business meeting, you can still have an open mind. If you're out on a park bench, you can have an open mind. At home, turn everything off. Have an open mind. Open your mind to the beauty and goodness that God is right within you, right within your very own soul. So, my friends, this is my hope for you, and this is my prayer as I do this work with you. I'm learning. Shawn and I are still learning on the journey, and my friends, we can laugh at ourselves. You might go to do it, and you think it's been all day, and it's been 5 minutes. You might think it's been 5 minutes, and it's been 2 hours. That can happen, too. So just be in this. Open your mind to new good. Open your mind to new energy, and see how the universe, and by the universe, I mean God, right? See how God brings gifts to you. See how God brings awareness and new energy into your life, into your world. And my friends, we love you. We bless you. We're honored to support your journey. We're always happy to have you along the journey with us. And really, we appreciate your trust and your support. So my friends, we look forward to seeing you next week, and blessings on the journey.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Experience of the Soul with Cynthia Alice Anderson. If this message resonated with you, we invite you to share it with someone who might need it today. This show is made possible by listeners like you, and we're grateful for the community that helps keep these conversations available to all. You can learn more or contribute to the show at cynthiaaliceanderson.com/donate. Produced by Kilgore Creative and a production of the Soulworks Group Incorporated. Until next time, take good care.